Riverside.
Well, welcome today to the show. How are you doing today?
I'm very good. Thank you so much for having me here.
Good. I'm going to let you pronounce your name for the audience because I love your name. I don't want to murder it. So,
Yes, thank you. My name is Miwako Sakabayashi.
I
From the
love that's
name,
beautiful.
maybe people can say, yes, I am Japanese. I was born and raised in Japan.
Cool. What a neat thing. My son's actually serving right now in South Korea. So,
Oh, that's wonderful. That is, my neighbor country. Like, we are like a cousins.
yes.
Like everywhere. Asian countries, we are all cousins. Very similar looking and a similar way of the thinking. It's completely different than where we are living right now in the greatest country, United States.
Yes, definitely. But we love the diversity, and we love to learn from our neighbors from the great north. So it's good to have you on.
Yeah, thank you so much. Thank you, Keith.
I'm kind of curious. Can you tell me the best piece of advice you've ever received?
My best piece of advice was, it's okay. It sounds like a very, like I said, what? Maybe many people think maybe something in the long sentences, but no, to me, it was just only a simple word. It's okay.
I
So
love
this
that.
was why this is a piece of the great advice. When I came here 31 years ago as a student, my teacher said, Miwako, it's okay. You did wonderful. I was so skeptical. What? Why it's okay? I couldn't even, I think it was a test. I studied so hard and I could not get 100%. I was so disappointed. Probably my score was 98 or 97, something like that. And then teacher said, it's okay. I said, no, it's not okay because I was not 100%. But that was where I came from because my country is not going to be accepted if I get a 99, 98. I have to be 100%. But at the same time, after I, it became, grow older, I get a lot of experience. And especially living in this country, I understand. What does it mean? It's okay. It doesn't have to be perfect. But as long as you did the best, that is why I, myself, has to acknowledge before I murder myself.
Right. How does that free you though? Because I mean, it must be kind of a liberating mindset. That's like, okay, I can give my best and be happy with the best that I give, as opposed to always striving for perfection. Must be extremely stressful.
It was, and it is still. But like we cannot just mold everybody in the same box. I am Japanese. I was born, raised in Japan, but luckily I have been living in this great country for last 31 years. And then looking around, is everybody has the same background? No. Like a Keith, yourself, you are different than anybody else. I am different than anybody else. So if you try to be perfectly match it to the black and white, it's gonna be harsh. So that's what I started learning, especially after I married and am raising my three children. Three children came out from me and then their father. Same parents, but I'm sure everybody knows. My three children are completely different. I said nothing. Yes, looking similar, something similar, but the end, it's different, right? So that's to me, some part of our life, it is okay to be different. And it is beautiful. It became a beautiful because we are different. So if you thinking in that extent, I think it's okay is, giving us a lot of, like a freedom instead of the stress.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So I'm curious, who are some people, because your journey sounds so fascinating. Who are some people in your life who served to inspire you?
Well, my late parents. My late parents were both blind. And then why they are? Because, my they were not born to be blind. They got accident to become, blind. But there are very many people, when I said, I'm sure maybe you or anybody who do not have those experiences, many people don't have, said, wow, that must be very hard. That must be, I can't imagine. And I always get, feel sorry about my childhood. It is. If you compare with the parents who were not blind, it sounds like, like a darkness and how a child can survive. But me, that's how I was given. And I never even thought something was difficult. In fact, my parents both worked as an acupuncturist, which is another surprise. Many people say, how? But to me, like they cannot see, but they can see. They have eyes on their hands, fingers. All part of the, like body has a sense which we even cannot create. And then they are very hard worker, very strong people. I learned a lot. I wanted to, tell my late parents inspired me, so much, giving me a lot of, like a power to me, who I
That's
am.
amazing. Yeah, that's great. I love that. That's a great story. We sometimes look at people's disabilities or their status in life as a weakness, but you have just reminded us that they can have
Mm-mm.
incredible strength even when we don't see that strength in people.
Right. Exactly. Exactly. And then another thing, sometimes I said, we are sighted. It doesn't mean that we will be seeing rest of our life. Because we have arms, it doesn't guarantee we will have an arm rest of our life. We have a just fine line to living in a like a sighted, not sighted. So all we have to feel is we should appreciate what we have been giving and appreciate what other people has it. That might be opened another door to understanding other side of the story.
Yep, exactly. The rest of the story, as one
Yeah,
famous writer, Paul Harvey, used to say.
yeah, it does.
So tell us your personal journey.
Personal journey. I was born in Japan, raised in Japan, until I came to this country, which is 1992, 31 years ago. I just wanted to come to see without expecting anything. But I met my children's father and I married 1994. And I had a children 95, 98, 2000. So those children became already 27 years old, 25, 23. And then life one wasn't to be a little bit, smooth. So unfortunately, I divorced. But same time, I already had a teaching business, and I became a single mom of the three children. That time, my children were fifth grader, second grader, kindergartner, and I worked, and I just worked. I worked without expecting anything. I just had to bring the food on the table. I had to put roof on our head. That was my everyday's things. And then I look back all of a sudden, my children already left. I should say empty nest. And then, but I have been teaching 23 years and I'm still teaching. It's very wonderful to see that, like, the everybody else's life, but I never thought this life would be coming when I left my country. But I
Exactly.
think life is wonderful. Life is wonderful to me.
Your passion for what you do is so obvious. What makes you so passionate about teaching and about math?
You know, I think that to me, to me is maybe I should say I didn't come here to teach. I didn't come here to share, but just happened to be my ex-husband is the one said to me, I think one day he was reading the New York Times and he read the article. He told me, you should teach. I said, what are you talking about? You should teach. I said, well, my ex-husband knew what I could do. But that time, I even didn't realize I had a wing to fly. So that time, I couldn't speak English this much well. I was so timid. And I even didn't want to, do anything. And then at the same time, yes, I was a champion and of those calculation in Japan, but I said no, I don't want to do it. I don't want to show off my skill. And then he said, no, you are not showing off. Showing off is you are not showing off. You are sharing your skill. Can you imagine if one person knows the skill to passing to the another person can passing to the another person. It will be spread out the great community. If you don't share, no one would know the skill what you are teaching. From that moment, I really realized I'm sharing the skill. I'm sharing the skill. I keep sharing the skill. And then my mission is I really wanted to share my skill as many people as possible. Maybe I should say not only the children. I really wanted to teaching the teachers. If the teachers can learn the skill what I teach, those teachers can teach in their school, in their classroom for the 20 kids. And those 20 kids can show their skill to somewhere else. And then someone see their skill, wanted to learn. So that's slowly, gradually, like expanding. That's the mission I have. That is a special to me, my life.
Special mission. And you do that using as a basis for this the abacus. For those who have heard of an abacus but may not be sure what an abacus is, how would you describe that for us?
Abacus is an ancient calculator. Ancient calculator came from China long time ago, but which no required battery. But teaching calculate without any tool, and then great thing is it stays rest of their life. That is abacus. People said, oh, I know abacus. That's in a box of the so many beads and the rectangle, and then you just up and down, up and down. But no, that is to me is a counting bees. Counting bees, calculator is different. Calculator has to use your brain to, move the bees up and down or sideways. Counting is just only 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Abacus is not the counting bees. Abacus is a calculator giving us the tool to use it daily basis, rest of their life. No matter which field you go, no matter what kind of profession you have, you can use it. Without wait for me. Just, open the, tablet and then tap. Or maybe if you don't have a calculator, you cannot calculate, but we have it. This is another language of the number. It's a second language of the number.
So, for my
Yeah.
teachers who are listening, how do you use the abacus in your teaching? For those who kind of want to know more about it, because I'm really intrigued by what you're saying so far.
Keith, can you rephrase it again? Your question.
Sure. So tell us how you use the abacus to help improve like cognitive abilities in your students.
Okay. So I mean, like now these days we always talking about the cognitive skill. So cognitive skill is that you just have to using the not only just run it and then just leave it. Cognitive skill, we just have to be really, we can just, use it, but at the same time, we can quickly apply it. You can memorize it and you can use it. So let's say, example, if you learn the language, English, A, B, C, D, E, F, G, you're just memorizing the, alphabet. Doesn't mean nothing. But then you started forming the words and then started learning the subject and the verb and then memorizing the nouns and the adverbs, the adjective, everything. That's how you construct that, a languages, right? Abacus is the same. First, you just have to learn how to operate the bees with using the certain finger. But then at the same time, you're learning the addition and subtraction. And then what happened after that? Multiplication is a repeated addition. Division is a repeated subtraction, right? So that means many people said, well, do you teach algebra? Do you teach, trigonometry? Do you teach, whatever, blah, 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 blah. But it's not. You don't need those, high functional formula to understand. Boil it down to the bottom. Everything is just simple 4 elements of the calculation, addition, subtraction, multiplication, division. Those are the one. Once children understand, I really do not even need it to teaching. Those children started, just juggling the numbers, and then they just started implied and applied, and then they just, jumping off to, enjoying the numbers games. So cognitive is the very, now these days we always use, but to me is how they can apply. A school teaching the so many high, a very difficult subject. But at the end of the day, do you really use it after 10 years, 20 years, 30 years? No one uses it. What they use is addition, subtraction, multiplication, division. Sometimes people even don't do the multiplication, division. They're using the calculator to calculate. Right? I mean, come on. I mean, let's face it. People even do not use, right? People even don't use it. They even don't know. But at the same time, like I told you, once children learn it, children do not have to be, telling. They started using on their own. Okay? To me, that is the one, cognitive skill has to be. It's not to learn something from the school and then oh yeah, I learned it, maybe 7th grader. Do you remember? No, I don't remember. That is not a skill. But again, like I told you beginning, if you learn this skill, it will stay with them. And because every single day, no matter where you go, even you go to the Costco, okay, and then buying something, or if you go into the restaurant, you're always dealing in the, numbers. And you can keep repeating it, using one after another. So that is to me the answer. Does that make sense? Maybe.
So as an educator, how do you teach students to use an abacus?
Well, I mean, good thing is my student are all younger student right now, 5th grader, no, not 5th grader, sorry, 5 years old to almost a high school junior student. So when the children coming to my class, simply we started teaching them how to set the numbers the addition, subtraction, carrying, and then borrowing. And then started giving the more bigger number to calculate. And then same time, we remove the actual beads of the abacus and then started teaching them called anzan. Anzan is a mental calculation, which we using the same method, but we kind of taking off the abacus, actual abacus. So we are not actually touching the actual beads, but our visualization and our finger movement is around forming to our head to understand what number we have, and then we started calculating. So once students started understanding the number concept through the abacus beads, no matter where they go, in fact, like a younger children, they going to the school, right? Regular day, every day. And then they got the, math problem or any problem or any numbers. They started visualizing the abacus. Many people who do not know the abacus, they see number as a letters. That's how I see it. But me, because I have been already trained over half century, number is not the number. Number is a bees. That's how I see it. Same thing, my student, the children who learn the abacus, they see it like anybody else as a, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, those numeral letters. But our mind won't see as a numeral letters. Our mind can see as a bees. That's the big difference. So once the children already see it, next will be very simple. They started calculating without being told because they already have a skill. Like I told you earlier, the second language of the numbers. I am Japanese. And when people speaking in Japanese, do I really need it to wait? I need to translate. I don't need it, right? When people speaking in English, when I'm in Japan, I can understand without stopping anything. So that much already skilled into our system. So that's why number is not the fear. Number is the one for them, the playmate. That's the big difference to me.
Love that. So how do you choose the abacus format versus a traditional tutoring program? Because I know people are going, tell me the difference between the two.
I mean, frankly, I know the difference, some sense, but myself, my own answer is I never even sent my children to those places. I never even thought about it. Why? Because they don't teach skills. They only, memorize, recognize patterns, repetition. But at the end of the day, is that the skill? No, it's not the skill. Okay. So to me, is a big difference. The abacus teaching them the life skill, which they can use it no matter which field they go, no matter which life takes, which country they go to, live. But the numbers always coming with us. So that's why I wanted, teach abacus, and also I wanted my children to learn the abacus. And then top of it, I think abacus also teach us discipline. Because if you do not calculate, no one does it for you. If you give up in the middle of the calculation, what happened? Nothing accomplished. Calculator, just punching the number and then boom, last key was equal, and then done everything. You even don't use any part of your brain, just punching the finger. As long as you have a calculator and the battery is installed. But the problem is if they don't have it, they can do it.
That's fascinating.
So that's my answer. Yeah.
As you think about our kids today in America, I know that I looked at some stats recently that most of our kids struggle with math. As you've worked with kids for this last 30 years, what are you seeing that is creating that the disconnect that kids have with math in America?
Are you ready to listen my word, kid? Okay, I'm gonna tell you very frankly, I've been telling this all the time. American education system is not emphasizing the math, period. They don't. In fact, kids only taught concept. And then very early stage, they already introduced the calculator. That was a big shock to me. Big shock. Japan or any Asian country, go there, you cannot even find a calculator at the school. In this country, sometimes even some elementary school has a calculator in the cubbies. I said, what is this? You know, I'm very lucky I have this skill. So that's why bad things is I even don't know how to use a calculator because I never use it. It's most simple things to punching in the number to get the answer, but I'm still confused because I don't really get it. I'm like, again, I'm the very, like a different part of the story, but why in this country is a failure? Because education system is not emphasizing at all. To me, simple things. And then, sad thing is I have, several students sometimes coming in the very older age, which is like a 6th, 7th, 8th grader coming to my, school, which is, I knew why, because they're already behind. But to me, it's come on, why? I mean, behind it should be started from already first grader, second grader, third grader, fourth grader. Why you have to wait it to 6, 7, 8? Because the school just only giving them the curriculum, and then regardless they do good or even they have a like a grading system, but still those kids can go into the first grader, second grader, the third grader, third to fourth. And by the time going to the 6, 7, 8, I said, something wrong. Kids, you better go. And then they are sent, parents are notified. And then they started rushing themselves. Oh, you have to go to this tutoring center. Otherwise, you cannot pass. If you cannot pass, you cannot go to the high school. And I said, are you learning the math because we're going to the high school? No. It's, to me, it's just looking at, like maybe I should say this way, COVID making all the children lost the study habit. And the school grading was way down, regardless of which area you go. And then now, it's so hard to get back. And then no one knows how to do it. But my student, they will keep just doing that every day, every single day, use it. They didn't lose the skill. To me, school should teach the skill, not like like algebra or trigonometry or like something, like a fantastic, like a calculus. Who is gonna use the calculus? Come on, Keith, tell me, geometry. Who is gonna use the geometry? I mean, no. And then once you go into the college, or high school, chemistry, economics, what they really needed to do is a simple calculation always be, applied to. But most of the children, unfortunately, they are not able to do the calculation, simple calculation. They cannot. And then what they do, they just always quickly, introduce the calculator to calculate it. That's wrong. Big wrong. If someone cannot do simple calculation, how they can borrow the money? To me, how they can, like build their asset when they graduate and, buying the car. yes, I understand. I mean, like if you now everybody has a cell phone going to there, they already calculate, oh, your monthly payment and this and this and this, your percentage this and this and this. But if you really do know, you can calculate better and ahead of them not to be fooled.
Right, exactly.
Yeah, but anyway, that's what. Yeah, it's sad. It's very sad to see the children failed, and then not only failed, they lose their confidence. That is most sad part. Very sad. Oh, I don't like math. Oh, I hate this. Oh, I cannot do this. The other day I read the book, said there was a time, it was a long time ago, I think, hypnotized the kids who are kind of failure kids, hypnotized. And then just without teaching any test, preparation, just hypnotized and then giving kids to be how great you are and you will be very easy to conquer the skill. And then after a week of the, a training without teaching any single question of the math, what happened after a week? Yes, all of them passed test. So what does it mean? It's not the math, it's the confidence. Rebuild it back again. So same thing, math is around giving the children not only the calculation skill, math is around giving children, many of us, confidence. But in America, they don't. And look, I'm sorry, I'm the one part of the immigrant, but again, so many immigrant Asian country coming to in this country. Is this America or Asia? Come on, right?
Right.
I can teach anybody. I really can. I would love to teach anybody if they're really willing to take. But the harder thing is politics is stopping me, not able to teach, not able to diving into the field.
Right.
That is also
So
another thing,
for those people who do want to learn from you, I know you have some videos out there. Where can people find the work that you're doing and learn from you?
I have a website. And then, of course, I have a Facebook account. Yes, I have an Instagram. I think, you can follow me at jamsportland.com, JAMS Portland.com. Or, my name is Miwako, 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 and then Abacus, and then maybe Portland, Oregon. Boom, Google find me very easily. And then, yeah, if someone really wanted to learn something, there is online courses, and also, you can just self-learn. And at the same time, if any of you really wanted to teach your school kids, we can just, I'm trying to be, teaching the teachers, and then those teachers can teach the school kids. So we can change our children's future. I'm here for everybody if they want to.
That's awesome. I love to ask my guests this question. What do you want your legacy in the world to be?
My legacy is I want to teach. I want to share my skill. I really want to share my skill. I want to share my skill as many people as possible. So those people can teach eventually. Someone will be teaching this skill to be passing on. 30 years ago when I came here, I was an English student, English as a second language student. My question, I love those questions. What is your favorite food? I used to say, I love sushi. And then, 31 years ago, Keith, I'm sure, now if I said, oh my God, I love sushi. Before I'm saying, people say that, oh, I love sushi. But that time, when I said, I love sushi, people said, oh my God, oh, disgusted. Yeah. That was 31 years ago. But now, look here, it's changed. Because someone, very smart person, started changing the perspective to introducing the sushi as a, raw fish, instead of the raw fish, making the California roll, to introducing this great country. So now, no matter which small country you go, or big country or whatever, there is just oodles of a number of the sushi restaurant, Japanese restaurant, right? So my mission is Abacus become next to sushi. I really wanted to making the Abacus. Oh, Abacus, yeah, I know. I wanted to making that one. Right now, Abacus? Why Abacus? Why you need it? Abacus is just counting bees. No, later, later, Abacus became sushi. That is my mission. That is my legacy. I wanted, passing on.
I hope that this podcast can help make Abacus the new sushi for you.
Yeah, thank you. I hope so, Keith. Then I will come back to you. Hey, Keith, look, Abacus became sushi.
Abacus became sushi.
Yeah.
Anything I haven't asked you that I should have asked you?
Mm. No, not really. I can't even think of it. No, I don't think so. Or maybe I can just say to you about, something, exciting things. Abacus, we are very competitive, like a society, and especially country, we are always constantly competing. So we had, like August 12th, which is, just, a month away. We have a national abacus competition, calculation competition. And my student, 7 students are going to competing. So I'm hoping they will get the big trophy, and we are going to get it. And also, a month ago, we had a regional abacus competition, which is, Portland, where I am, and also Calgary, Canada, and also Seattle schools. 3 schools we competed, and school competition we won. Yes. So
Congratulations.
I don't want to lose. I want to win. I told my kids, come on, kids. If we're gonna compete, we have to win. There's no rules. So we won. That is something I would like to share about. I wanted blogging about my student that did an excellent job. And then most of my students, except those just, students who just joining in, my students are always, second to third above the grade level. In fact, my oldest student, who is going to be junior at the private high school, he already has been taking the college.
Wow.
He is the one called, human calculator. I used to have a nickname, human calculator, but yes, I can still calculate many things. But my students are the one, human calculator. We are human calculator production. How about that, kid?
I love that. Well, thank you so much. Give the website one more time where people can find you and where they can find you on social media.
The website is jamsportland.com. JAMS Portland.com. Thank you.
Thank you so much for what you do and the passion you do it with and the joy you do it with, and may your group win, because I also hate coming in second, so I get that. May you bring
Yes.
home the trophy.
Yes. Thank you. Yeah. Thank you so much. Thank you, Keith.
Thank you.